If you regularly follow the channel, you'll know that this is a new to us planter. This is a model 1765 planter. And whether you're new to the channel or you're just interested in learning about this particular model planter, this video is for you. Previously, we've always ran two planters, with both of them being 1223 split rows. One was a 1795 exact emerge, the other was a 1790 just 1223, which was the only offering that they had at the time. There wasn't a multitude of packages available on the 1790 such as there are on the 95s. And we are still running the 1795 1223 exact emerge, but the difference this year would be that we have sold the 1790 and went to this 1765 12 row 30. Like many places in the Midwest this year, it's been cold and wet and things have been a bit behind. We have made good progress on our crops, but are still behind a little bit. We're ahead of the curve as far as neighbors, but below the trend line as far as our 5-year history of our farm. And with each passing year, we learn a little bit more about crop production, what works best, and what's going to get your best yields, best returns. What we're finding out is soybeans are oftentimes planted about the same time that you're planting your corn. And here in the video, you're seeing the 8R280 pulling the 1795 1223 exact emerge planter. New for 2022, John Deere has some new Pro boxes on their planters, which in my opinion was needed. Going in here and looking at a brand new 1775, which would be a 12 row 30 only. The 95 is essentially the same planter with the additional frames, which allows for the interplant units. Looking at a 1775 12 row 30 with the exact emerge package, as well as the new commodity system, as well as the units being set up for corn with a exact apply liquid nitrogen system, and we'll come back to that in a minute. You can look at it here that you're on a list price of $290,601. Moving over here, we've configured a 1795 and a 1631 with decked out just about as many things as possible with the exact apply liquid package, as well as the exact emerge high-speed units with a list price of about $520,000, which you can take around 19% off of that list. So you'd be looking at about $425,000 cash. A much cheaper option for a 12 row 30-inch package will be the 1765, which is available in the Flex series or the non-Flex, 8 rows or 12 rows. And here on the John Deere website, you can see it and you can build and price it. Now I'm going to take this moment in the video to tell you more about this particular planter, and then we'll come back to these things. Well, we got our second planter. Here it is. It's a model 1765. This is part of the 5 series planters. I thought I'd show you guys this planter real quick, how it folds, some of the features and options available to this planter. This is what John Deere calls their economy 12 row. This is a 12 row 30-inch planter. And it's available in 2 configurations, flexible and non-flexible. This is the flexible, which we'd have to have, obviously, for our land. And this turnbuckle here, it goes between there and there. You put the turnbuckle on and you lock it solid for transport. But in the field, you remove that for flexibility. And there's a big pin down here in the center of this. You can see where this hitch bolts on. And it's 6 rows on each side, can go up and down. In other words, it's a center flex toolbar. This is the 5 series planters, which I had 1760s, and now it's a 1765. Same with the 1775, 1795. They're all 5s. And previously the series is all ended in 0s. So if you see a 0 series planter, that's going to be your Max Emerge or maybe your Max Emerge XPs. And you see a 5. That's where you come out with your new row units, which is on the 5 series. So here's the row units on it. Again, this is the 5 series row unit. So this is what they call the Max Emerge 5. The next series up to this, or the next available model, I should say, is a 5E, which This is what's called the shank unit and lower, so basically meter up and meter down. So meter down is the same on all 5s, even the exact emerges. And meter up would be different. This is your base. The 5E is the exact same as this, except they drive it electronically and do not have a cable or a clutch here or the drive shafts. And then of course you have your exact emerge. This particular planter, the 1765, is not available with the exact emerge configuration or the 5E configuration. It's only available as the base standard package. This particular planter is very well optioned, which is the reason we bought it. It also only has 600 acres and 1 season's use. Came from Central Illinois. It's essentially brand new still, which I was very pleased to find this planter. This planter has the Pro Shaft drives, that is standard. It has the individual row clutches, which is a factory option. And when you get these are controlled by your Seed Star monitor, which is ISO bus. That is the best option you can get for this particular model. Standard would be a 350 monitor and ground drive. Because it has these options, this planter also comes or has the optional hydraulic drive, which is a motor right here. And that is the best option you can have. Otherwise, you'd end up with a contact wheel running off your main tires. And you can see the main tires on this still have the fuzzies on, just barely been used. This particular planter is a very clean, well thought out toolbar. Reminds me a lot of an old 7000, which in fact the old 7000s were actually available in this style of fold. The 7000, which was like a 6-row or a 4-row wide, just a fixed frame toolbar, they were a 7000. The 7000s that had a front fold where the units come clear on the front were also a 7000, and the 7000 that fold up like a modern day 1775 were also a 7000. Since that time era, they've kind of kept the same basic design, but they've now labeled them different models depending upon your fold style. Now you may wonder, why did we buy this over a, say, a 1775? Well, for starters, it's a lighter, cleaner, simpler toolbar. It's just a very well laid out toolbar, which I really like. It's lighter, it's nice on the compaction for planting corn. The other thing is just cost. This planter is substantially less and can be pulled with a smaller tractor than the 1775. 1775 and a 1795, which is our other planter. If you guys follow the channel, our other planter is a 1795 exact emerge in 1223 configuration. But 1775 is almost the exact same planter. It's just 12 row only, or 16 or 24, whichever you configure it in. Now to fold this planter, it actually folds around the front. There's 6 rows in the base, and there's 3 each wing that fold around the front. So right here you can see the hinge, or the pivot, and this pin here is what pulls it. So what you do to fold this is you lower it down on flat surface ground. You put your turnbuckle in here and you tension it until she's pretty level. Then you can see this is stamped plant or transport. So you would bring it to transport. And this planter has the independent marker control, which means instead of being tied to the planter lift circuit, it's on a separate SCV. So this SCV here is fold or markers. So you push or pull it for markers. And there's instructions right here on the hitch. So we would pull the back lever and pop the valve. Then we get back in our tractor and we raise it up. And when you raise it up at that point, those wheels there they stay up. Then, now I should have mentioned also while you were out there, you would pop these pins out and put them in the transport. But anyway, then you would hydraulically hit the button, and these outer units fold clear around, and they automatically latch right here in these catches. Then to unfold it, when you get to the field, you would get out and you push these, and they actually stay up. This little thing here swings down, they stay up. You swing it around hydraulically, lower it to the ground, get out of the tractor, pop valve, or actually push valve in, push this lever back, release turnbuckle, and you're ready to go. Or put your pins in, then you're ready to go. So really, if you get good and efficient at this, You can fold it, unfold it in a matter of a minute and a half, realistic time on a stopwatch. Not quite as easy to fold as sitting there in a control box, but not bad at the same time. It's nice to get out, stretch your legs a little bit. It's not something I'd want to fold and unfold 10,000 times to go do little tiny patches, but luckily for our farm, we're not doing that anyway. We primarily just get in the field and you have a tender or whatever you need to tender it for beans or corn. Sacks of corn can go drive right up to it. Does again have the independent markers. These are the exact same markers that would be on a 1775 or 1795. It does use the Pro Max 40s, and again the row units are the 5 series, which is the same. There are guys that have converted these to exact emerges. You can go exact emerge on up. Again, it's meter up. It has the Yetter shark tooth on it with depth bands and the 13 wave colders. Those are factory from John Deere. They contract through Yetter. It was a little bit of a wait to get this planter because the guy that traded it in was waiting to get his before they were going to release this one. So we had to wait quite a while because they had some holdups in manufacturing due to things going on right now. So they waited to give us this machine, but we did. We got her. Very happy with it. AHW John Deere out of Champaign, Illinois. Handled the deal very, very well. Actually quite happy with the sale. Probably one of the best salesmen I've run into in a long time. When it is folded, it does have a fair amount of tongue weight, but not nearly as much as like a front fold that hangs on your 2-point. There's the hitch, and there's the pin. And you can put it, they do have a single tang, so if you have a hammer strap on your tractor, you can use a single tang. It does require 4 SCVs, one for lift, one for marker / fold, one to run the hydraulic drives, one for the vacuum. Then of course your ISO and a power point. So if you're looking for a kind of an old-fashioned style toolbar that was proven with like a 7000 series, we loved our way our 7000 worked, the way it came up, where the wheel positions was, the way it go over ground contours. You're going to get that and more with this model here. The way the hitch folds, I really, really, really like this planter. I actually like it better than the bigger, heavier one in a lot of ways. It's because of its simplicity. Folding, unfolding is a little bit more time consuming, but to me the way it's configured outweighs that. And for the price tag of it, which I think brand new, you can buy one of these for about $94,000, somewhere in that area. Which may sound like a lot, but when you're comparing that to, $160,000 to $200,000 for the same width in the next models or different fold configurations, essentially, it's pretty conservative. We got a great deal on this. Quite happy with it. You guys will see it folding and in action coming up this spring. If anybody's looking for a good planter in a 12-row configuration, Kinsey sells one called a 3200. I think it's called a 3202 now. It's basically the same thing. The thing I did not like of the Kinsey was instead of just the wings folding around, you just drop the pin through the hole. They actually have a bolt out here you have to tighten up. Just a little bit more time consuming and a bigger headache. Plus, they won't ISO into a John Deere tractor. They won't row command anywhere, at least that's what I'm told. And this is a Deere. I like staying with the Deere. So there are other brands of the same, essentially same thing, kind of in a way. But I just think the Deere is a little bit better layout. For our operation in particular, I'm going to be looking into kits for that particular 1765, which will allow us to use it as a designated corn planter and use the 1795 as a designated soybean planter. Generally speaking, we are 50-50 or maybe a few acres heavier on soybeans depending on how the field split, but pretty much 50-50 on acres. And here, if you go to the John Deere website, 1765 planters, they have a fertilizer kit as well as a individual hydraulic row unit kit and an exact emerge performance upgrade kit. And hopefully I did a good enough job in that description, or long description, to explain how the row units are the same and how you can add an exact emerge kit to the planter. And obviously they do make it because this is directly out of the parts book, which it is available again as a kit. Next up, we are going to be adding liquid N capabilities. And yes, we are primarily anhydrous, but we're going to start doing split applied N, because what I have learned is corn likes to be spoon fed. It likes to be babied. And while a major source of nitrogen will remain anhydrous ammonia, we will also be supplementing with some starter, or in the form of liquid nitrogen, UAN, with the planter. And it'll have onboard tanks, as well as this kit here from Yield 360. These are called Bandits. And you can see in the outline here of the discs, and these discs are what some people call 2x2s, or these are very similar to that, to where it places it a couple inches below the seed and a couple inches next to the seed, which is 2 inches by 2 inches, is essentially what that means. And the drag chain kit there will help smooth any soil imperfections. Another kit that I added to the planter this year was the Copperhead Ag closing wheels. These rings replace the rubber rings that are on the closing wheels. So you just disassemble your plastic shells, insert the new ring, and then reassemble everything. And you do have to space the rings out because the points are longer than the original length of the rubber. I believe, or what I have been told, is the rubber were more designed for conventional tillage of the old days, and you're using a round rubber ring to essentially smash the soil shut, whereas these Copperhead Ag actually massage it shut with little like fingers and work much better in a no-till condition. Obviously, as I said, the planter is capable to be converted to ExactEmerge, with the only thing I was finding out could be a factor would be the tractor's PTO, as I was pointing there in this video, for drawbar clearance, whereas the 8000 have a much different drawbar to PTO relationship, or even the big sixes, as well as pointing to the mounting flanges for the liquid system. And yes, that's from John Deere, as well as the ExactEmerge bolt-on locations, which will eliminate the drive shafts. Another upgrade I would like to install would be the spoked gauge wheels, which will resist mud, allows it to pass through the sides open and freely. So as you can tell, what I put together in this video, it's a great planter. I'm real happy with it, but for the direction our farm is going, which you hope to obtain yield gain with, and there's that 8000 PTO, with about the same or maybe even less input costs, and allows us to cover the acres properly at the right time with the designated planters instead of spending an entire half a day getting everything changed over. This is the direction I want to go. I would prefer to buy the 1775 front fold, and I could even possibly get by with one 1631, as I showed earlier in the video. The problem with both those options is the financial aspect, because those are much more money than I am willing to spend, or want to spend, or even have the ability to spend right now. Why would I go this route over buying that front folder? The simple answer to that is you're talking $120,000 less cost for basically the same thing. And in corn, we primarily handle bags. Yes, we just do the work. The boxes are fine. It seems to be the best option. So if you're interested in the 1765 John Deere planter, hopefully this video helped you answer some questions. And if you're interested in our farm or operation, like to follow around and see what direction we're going to go, or see about some of these customization kits, stay tuned and follow along for more. Thanks for watching.